Howdy folks, today is Saturday, March 8th. The time is 2 p.m. Alrighty, and the temperature right now is around 1 degree Celsius, and that was Finch Station I just climbed out of. I'm not going to go back and re-record climbing up the stairs just because I stumbled over the word Finch. But this is the intersection of Yonge and Finch up here in fabulous North York. Actually, let's cross the street here. And that's a look to the south. It's a little more interesting on this side, at least for the next few blocks. And in this one, I'm going to be heading north up to the Canada Computers at Centerpoint Mall. And the reason for that is I've got a new GPU ready for pickup. And it is quite windy all of a sudden. Well, I don't know if it's been windy all day up here, but it was pretty calm down in Midtown. I was out earlier today, but it's certainly blowing around pretty good right now. So this is the northern terminus of the Yonge Street side of Line 1, at least for now it is. There's an entrance to Finch Station. And back in 2006, I got a job in this building. I was working as a commercial underwriter for a company called AXA. And I only worked there for a year, and then I took off to Korea for 5 years. There's kind of a cyberpunk themed bar. They opened up one, I think, in the former Clintons in Koreatown. I think this walk will be 2 kilometers or so. The Canada Computers, where I'm heading to, is in Centerpoint Mall. That's a 55-year-old regional mall, one that is scheduled to be redeveloped at some point in the somewhat near future. There's where you could grab a GO or York Region bus. I could have hopped on a number of buses from Finch Station and just headed north up to Centerpoint. There goes one. It's a very frequent route. Some bike lockers. Take a peek into the bus terminal area. There's the York Region bus pulling in. But this area is called Newtonbrook. It's just north of Willowdale. There's a new condo that's popped up. You'll hear a lot of Chinese and Korean being spoken in this area. They're the second and third most popular languages in this part of town, and you'll see a lot of Asian restaurants, particularly a little bit south of here. But there are plans to extend the subway north all the way up to Richmond Hill. At some point, Metrolinx will turn Yonge Street here into a catastrophe, just like they have parts of Cape Avenue and Eglinton Avenue, as well as Finch Avenue. That'll be a necessary evil. And there used to be a big plaza just here on the right, with the bowling alley. There's a great kanji restaurant, as well as Canada Computers, but they moved north up to Centerpoint Mall, where we're heading. There used to be a Canada Computers right across the street from where I live, pretty much in Midtown, but they closed last year. And the item I wanted, the new graphics card, just came out a few days ago. And most of the stock disappeared quite quickly. If you're familiar with computer parts, you can probably already guess it's an AMD Radeon 9070. I certainly wouldn't be foolish enough to spend all the money an RTX card at the moment, at least not a 5000 series. This is where that plaza used to be. Looks like an H-Mart is moving in. They gotta do something with this big wide sidewalk. Maybe plant some trees or greenery. Maybe some benches along here. I dig the width, but it's just kind of gray and barren. There's quite the GPU shortage right now. A lot of AI companies have gobbled up a lot of the stock, as well as scalpers. These cards are selling secondhand for much more than their MSRP. In fact, you can't even get them from retail stores for their MSRP. One I got, I think, is about $60 more than it's supposed to be. This is Drury and Cummer. And initially, I don't think there'll be a subway stop here when they build the extension. I think this intersection has been skipped. And it's widely been criticized. They're not going to put one here. As you can see, it's quite the walk from Finch up to Steeles. There will definitely be a need for bus service to fill in the gaps in the middle, whereas you really wouldn't need one if they built the subway here. This plans for a 38-story building right there. Well, I guess technically we're not too far from the most northern entrance to Finch Station. I think if you're going to go through the trouble of building the subway, you might as well serve this neighborhood. Let's cross the street here. Usually I'm on this east side of Yonge Street when I walk this way anyways. So I'll change it up. There's a 60A Steeles West bus. I used to take that bus when I worked up near Dufferin in Steeles. It was the first job I had after I came back from Korea. There is a rare sight these days, a coffee time. Coffee time is similar to Tim Hortons. In its heyday, it was quite popular. You could find them everywhere. Not nearly as often or as much as you could Tim Hortons. There's another chain called Country Style that you could find pretty much everywhere as well, but both of those have really gone down in popularity. This stretch is an interesting mix of old apartments, strip malls with parking in front. There's towers in the park style development. I really hate this kind of mid or high rise. They just take a bunch of green space and slap a building in the middle of it. It's really poor land use, and much of this doesn't end up being used for anything. I'd much rather see the building pushed right up to the sidewalk or have a public parquet here. Fortunately, they don't really build like that anymore. Speaking of Timmy's, there's one. Chokbokyohui. Not sure what that says, but I can read it. The Fry, that's an excellent Korean fried chicken spot. And you'll see a place on top of it, P-Matrix Money Exchange. I've pointed this out in prior videos, but this area is just filled with currency exchanges everywhere you look. There's the plaza coming up here on the right. There's like a dozen of them. There's the Jordan Exchange. Original Korean Tonkatsu house. I'm a big fan of Mr. Tonkatsu. There's one of those in the Annex and another one on Yonge Street downtown. Dao Dongne. That's an excellent Korean barbecue chain. They've got locations all over the city. Coffee Lunar. Some smaller cafes have been changing the name of Americano on their menu to Canadiano. Just a little jab at the Orange Dictator down south. VIP currency exchange. There's that plaza. It seems like every other business in it is a currency exchange. And they all have Arabic writing, or most of them do. I'm guessing that's a very cash-heavy part of the world. People just board in airplanes with briefcases full of cash. I hate it when cars make you walk around like that, because someone turning right in the opposite direction might not see a pedestrian having to go around. Eatery and lounge, more money exchange, money exchange. How do you even know which one to go to? There's another currency exchange at the end of that plaza. There's the Middle Eastern supermarket. But it's mostly low-rise or low-density single-family detached dwellings in these residential neighborhoods. I imagine with the subway extension, we might see an intensification of this stretch of Yonge. The area just north of Steeles, at the north end of Toronto, is known as Thornhill. You have the city of Vaughan on the west side. Oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, your phone's ringing.
It's okay.
Did you need a hand getting up?
No, I'm good.
You sure? You didn't bump your head?
No, just I'm okay.
You sure? Nothing's broken? You didn't bump your head?
No, I was just panicking.
Okay. Okay, be safe.
Thank you. How are you? Please speak
You sure you
fast.
don't need a hand? Okay.
I speak fast. Okay.
Ooh. Sometimes after a spill, you might not realize that something's broken or you hit your head and you just want to pop back up on your feet, but she seemed to be okay. And there was another lady, I don't know if the camera picked her up, who speaks Farsi, and she asked her, do you speak Farsi? So I guess they're communicating with one another, but I offered her a hand twice to help her up. There's an exchange. Wonder if she... didn't want to hang around there with my camera and investigate, but I wonder if she tripped on an imperfection in the street. You can see years of just sloppy patchwork construction leads to a less than continuous sidewalk experience. And this is Moore Park Avenue. So there's a whole bunch more retail on the right side. There is Centerpoint Mall straight ahead. As I mentioned, Centerpoint Mall, I think it's about 55 years old. There's a plan to redevelop this lot into a new community with a number of condos. Gotta be careful crossing areas like this. I think there'll be a number of towers going up on the north side of Steeles as well. It opened as Town and Country, I think Town and Country Square. I'm trying to remember. In the 60s. And it changed its name, I think, in the early 90s. It's currently anchored by a No Frills and a Canadian Tire. There was a Target in it briefly. Target famously pulled out of the Canadian market. There you can see that redevelopment that's planned for the mall. New public street. Here is Steeles. There's Yonge. So we are about there somewhere. Somehow I found myself walking through this. Look, there's no issues catching a bus going south. I'll be standing in that spot pretty soon, but we're gonna walk through the mall. Canada Computers is on the other side. There's a Hudson's Bay. There's stories going around saying they might file for bankruptcy. One of the oldest retailers in the country. Sign on that vehicle says new driver, thanks for your patience. Well, they don't know how to take a stop sign. It's not very good instruction. There's No Frills. The original anchors of this mall were a Savette, and I think it was called Super City Discount Foods. I'm not going to record much in Canada Computers. But we'll head over there and I'll let you know how it went. There's a Jollibee. Most of the big retail chains you'd expect to see in a major mall are not here. Just cozy. I'm going to make a little pit stop on the way. There's the food court straight ahead. Canada Computers should be around to the right here. That'll lead you towards the No Frills. The food court is pretty packed. But you can probably guess where I'm going, so I will be back in a moment. All is well. They have a claw machine arcade here. But what we don't have is a Micro Center. I think that's the big chain for computer parts and accessories in the US. Canada Computers would kind of be the equivalent. Usually when there's a big release, they have a lot of stock. They've been known for some less than good customer service practices. And unfortunately, when there's a new release, scalpers end up gobbling up a lot of the stock. The card I'm buying is $869, but you can find it online for well over $1,300 on eBay right now. So I'm just going to go poke around the store a little bit, pick up my card, and then I guess I'll resume recording. And we will walk to the bus stop to wrap things up. For all returns and exchanges, please enter at the parking lot entrance. I'm guessing I need to head over there. Power supplies. Coolers. Anyways, it's a big ass computer store. One nut.
It's exactly the same size that is on my phone. Yep.
Is under construction, but I think they got rid of all their TVs and home electronics. Anyways, I'm going to head over there and get my video card. I might just look around a little bit more. So I'm going to turn the camera off and I will come back. Mission accomplished. It's not the higher end XT model, it's just the regular overclocked card. But I only have a 65 watt or 650 watt power supply, so the other one might have been pushing it, but I'm going to throw this in my backpack and we'll get moving to the bus stop. Mission accomplished. They still have a few in stock of other brands, but they are all priced a lot more than the one I got. And Gigabyte is a decent brand, but we're just going to head out of the mall here. I'm going to catch a bus and go home. I might save installing this thing until tomorrow. That's Steeles Avenue just to the north. But it should make video editing a much smoother experience. I've currently got a 3060 12 gig card. And the odd time I fire up a game should be a lot faster. I want to thank you for coming with me. I don't know why I can't speak properly today, or any day on this journey to Centerpoint Mall. The entrance is all boarded up in places. Do let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below. If you wish to say thanks that way, I'm going to find a TTC stop. I know there's one well south of here, but I think this is one as well. You just need one of these. Number 60 buses to find their way. Rather the 53 or the 60 or the 97. If it's the 97, I could take that all the way back to Midtown. It would probably be quicker to just hop on the subway at that point. Anyways, from beautiful Newtonbrook, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and bye Canadian. Yoink.